Okay, it's Grace LaVonne2. I was born January the 24th, 1934. I was born out on the county line in Adair County, because I was born on the south side of the county line. And my folks lived there a couple years. Then we moved west to Casey and north and lived there for 4 years. Then my folks moved to town in Casey, and we lived, well, we always called it Back Alley, but now they got it named as a street, which was Wright Street east of the bank, and so down that street. And we lived there for a couple years. Then we moved over on the highway just south of where John Farley's house is now. There was a house that was in between that and that pasture, and that's where we lived. And we lived there until I left home.
Okay. And so what were your folks' names?
Roy and Avie and Vivian Tickner Avie.
Okay.
And I had 3 brothers and 1 sister.
Yeah.
I had, well, I'm the oldest, and then I had a sister, Vivian Irene, and she was born in September of 35, the 20th of 35. Roy Charles, was born in February 25th of 38, and Bruce Henry was born in March 23rd of 1940, and Larry Keith was born February 23rd, 1942.
And then did you attend school up here?
I went to school up here. Well, I started at the country school when I was just 6 years old, but I never finished a year out there, and we moved to town.
What are some of your favorite memories of school?
Oh, golly. I played basketball, and I really liked algebra, and I was more of a tomboy back then. I liked to play baseball out at noon hours and skip rope and stuff like that. I was a tomboy, more or less.
Did you guys have a hangout, or did you go after school?
Well, I worked from the time I was 11, so I never really had any hangout, only the neighbor kids, and that's where it's fenced in now along the Highway 6 here. We had that pasture was wide open, and Lil Scheller owned it, and he kept it mowed. So between the Pristine kids and his son Donald and us and the Chambers kids, we had our own ball team right there in that pasture, and we played hide and seek and stuff at night. Remember that? And then Mom got sick when I was 12, and she lived till I was 14. Then she passed away, and then I got married when I was 16.
Oh, wow. So how did you meet Ralph?
Well, the first time I ever seen him, I knew him in high school, but I didn't know who he was, really. I knew he was in high school, and I was in junior high then. And the first time I really ever went anywhere was, there was a dancing memo for Beverly Lynch. And my dad wanted to go, and of course Mom was gone, so I went with Dad over to that dance, and we didn't know how he was going to go, because my folks never owned a car after they moved to town. And so Ralph took us over. And then I came back home, but I didn't really have that much knowing that well until one time I was coming home from youth fellowship on Sunday night, and he was downtown and sitting there, and I was coming down the street, and he hollered at me, and I talked to him, and then that was in August, and then in September I started going with him in 48.
Wow. So then when did you get married?
We got married July the 9th, 1950. Well, then he got called in service in May the 13th, of 1951, and he took basic in Fort Leonard. Then he was transferred down to Fort Bliss, Texas, And so he came home in June of '52 and got me, and we lived down there for 1 year. He got out in May the 15th of 1953.
Oh.
And we moved on to his dad's farm, 6 miles north of Greenfield. We lived there till '58. Then we moved south of Menlo for 2 years on the Star place. Our landlord was the bankers down to Greenfield.
Oh.
And then we moved back to Casey in 1960 up on the north side of the football field.
Oh, okay.
And then in I think it was 66, we moved down here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I worked in, oh boy, you don't, I done a lot of different jobs. I worked at Mary's Cafe for 5 years. Then after that, I worked for Chambers Produce till Ralph went service. Then I went out to my grandfather's and stayed with them, and I worked in the Berea store, which is a little country store. I babysat for a family, 2 different families, down by Fontanelle. And then that was where I went to Texas. And then after I come back, I went back to Mary's Cafe and worked again till Jerry passed away. And then they closed it up. And then I worked part-time for down to PNN for a while. Then I went to Des Moines in '78 and worked for Moon Menthol Engraving. Worked there 2 years, and then I went down to Interstate Assurance. And I worked there until I retired.
Oh, okay. So when did you start your family?
Raymond was born in '54. And then Kathleen was born in '56. Gail was '57. And Deborah was in '59.
Okay, and who's still around here?
Gail's the only one who lives in Casey.
Okay.
Kathleen lives in Stewart. Deborah lives her address is Newton. And Raymond just moved to Johnson.
Oh. Okay, how many grandchildren?
I got 14 grandchildren.
And then how many?
27 great-grandchildren.
Wow. Are any of them around here?
Bridget,
Yeah.
and she's the only one that's right here. The rest of them all more or less live in Des Moines, Adele, DeSoto, except Jeremiah lives south of Stewart. And then I got Tracy in North Carolina and Jamie's in Indiana.
Huh.
But otherwise, the rest of them all live pretty good.
Good. Things you want to talk about with Casey, the changes you've seen over the years, or?
Oh boy, I've seen a lot. Because when I first remember, there was 5 gas stations in Casey, and now there are just White Oaks, I guess it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And where it used to be a car dealership back years ago. And of course, Vernon Joint Store and Hayes' store, Aqua Trees made them into one big store.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, there's been so many changes. There were 3 grocery stores, I remember. We even had a hatchery up where Peterson's garage used to be. It used to be bigger. And my dad worked there for Bassett's Transfer when the offices were the telephone office then.
Oh.
And there was a little ice house between the Smith store and the Bassett's thing. We used to have an ice house there. Then the bank kept changing names. We used to have what they called, it wasn't Salvation Army at that time, it was Army Surplus.
Mm-hmm.
That store for a while. Pool hall changed to a couple of different places. We had a doctor and a dentist down on Main Street, which is now, I think, can't even think of her name. It runs on Tingridge signed place,
yeah.
yeah. And their parking lot used to be the fire truck station.
Oh,
You know where that sidewalk slant? The fire truck used to go up there into a building, and there was a jail in one corner.
really?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes. And the post office changed from when I first knew it was when it was where Snowbird stopped.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Then it went across the street, and then part of that's their awning place too. And then now it's up where it is.
Oh, okay.
And there used to be 2 cafes. Yeah.
A lot different
Oh
nowadays.
yeah, and the telephone office is on Main Street. And the telephone operators in there, 'cause that's where we always had to go to make our phone calls.
Well, are there any like funny characters that you remember around town, or
Oh, not
things
really.
that were?
Oh, we used to have a guy that yelled and hollered popcorn at night and that, but on Saturdays and Wednesday nights and that. Really, nothing really funny. They just more. It was real. People used to visit. That's what I miss. Is the way people used to go to other people's homes and visit and that. Can't think. Well, us kids usually spend our summers at either aunts and uncles or our grandparents quite a bit during the summertime. Because at that time, my grandparents lived up by Middle River up there at Fedora. And so we told Grandpa when he moved back here, sweet corn didn't taste the same. Because it tastes better up there.
Saving it all for the men